How's it going?
Oh, it's good. Doing good. How about you?
Good. I just finished my study state this morning. Went and grabbed a sweatshirt, and I've got my meal prepped breakfast muffins here that I'm with eggs and turkey
Oh,
and stuff in them. So yeah, trying to be
nice.
good. We'll see how long that lasts.
Very good. I have my coffee. That's what I have. So what's new with you, Adrian?
Oh, nothing much. So let me think. Oh, Bright and Burn. So,
Hmm.
by the time this comes out, it's going to be way after Bright and Burn. We've got so many backlogged podcasts, but Bright and Burn is not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday. Um, and I've gotten a couple requests from people to keep the team going.
Okay.
So I talked to Crew Lab because the team that's in Crew Lab is like kind of like the free version of the
Hmm.
team. So the workouts disappear, the chat disappears, the videos disappear eventually. So I talked to them. I'm upgrading the team. It hasn't upgraded yet. There is a little bit of a glitch, I guess, that they're trying to figure out. So hopefully the next day or so, we should see the updated version of it where you can go back into the calendar all the way back into December to the original workouts. I'm going to offer a special founder's price for people who want to stick around so they can pay for the year and get continue to get exercises. The way I'm going to work it is every month, every 4 weeks, I'm going to kind of do like a little mini cycle. So starting March 1st, we'll go back to steady state. I don't know about you, but I feel like we've done like a lot of speed work. And I'm just kind of like over the speed work. So we'll go back to steady state and kind of work on zone one that or zone two things. And then we'll still do speed work once a week. And I think the speed work once a week will be on the erg
Hmm.
because I love running. I'm going to kind of leave the other conditioning for other forms of exercise. So if people want to get on an exercise bike, if they want to get out and get walking, if they want to run or cross country ski, because it looks like we're going to continue to have snow here, people can do their workout time within that. And then what else? Oh, and then the each month will be a different body part. So, as you know how
Oh,
we do like
okay.
the strength work. So
Hmm.
this coming month, I thought we'd start with the big one that everybody's always concerned about, so back and core. So all
Oh,
the exercises will be focused on strengthening back and core and so each
okay.
month will have a different theme. I already kind of have it listed out what body parts I'm gonna kind of target each month. And then as we get close to Probably as we get close to like summertime sprint season rowing for like masters, I'll probably maybe do like a training block that will be just about whether it'll be two training blocks or one training block that will be just about like sprinting and getting back kind of into the on the water stuff. And then definitely starting in July, I'm going to do a 3 month training block that will prepare for fall racing.
Oh,
So
okay.
it'll start to ramp up in July. It'll be July, August, September. So then by October, you'll be race ready.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Cool.
that's what I've been like working on and trying to
Hmm.
like iron the details out for. But it's been pretty neat. Like at one of the erg classes that I had last week, two people who had never met in real life but had been on crew lab and had seen each other's workouts actually met at my class. And I was like, oh
Oh,
my gosh. So they sort of so like they knew each other but they didn't know each other, but so it was
yeah.
kind of neat. And I'm like, wow, this is kind of a fun way for people to like, to kind of build community and like because we have so many clubs here and it's going to be kind of nice because there's going to be people from different clubs. So if maybe we just get together like during the summer, like on a Friday night or something like that, and just go for a fun row. Like just
Yeah.
hop in the boat and, like maybe we rent a bunch of doubles from GWC or something like that, and we hop in the boat and we just kind of maybe we'll paddle around and then maybe switch partners. You know what I mean? Like I don't get to row with a lot of different people. Like I row with like the person I row with in the double, but I don't row with a lot of other people. So I think that might be fun to do like little like mini get-togethers and Yeah, I'm excited
Yeah,
about it. Yeah.
that's cool. I'm so excited for you. I think that sounds like a lot of fun. Maybe I'll have to join you for the doubles row.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
and by the way, last week I did the biomechanics things with level
Oh, yeah.
three, and I talked to Coach Carrie. So Coach Carrie says hi.
Oh, hi. She's great.
I know she's so wonderful. So
Yeah.
she said
Oh,
that you
good.
guys
How'd
came
that
up.
go?
Oh, it went well. It was
Good.
really, really cool. Like, um, the coaches submitted about three or no, there were four videos, and it
Hmm.
was so neat because all the videos were very different. So the one video was like a Stanford athlete, and he was just like, whatever you think of as like, Division 1, senior at a college. What he would, yeah. So his video was just amazing to watch because he was just like such a technician. And then we had two videos that were like juniors rowers, but one of the juniors rowers had, I think maybe she had a club foot, or she had some type of issue. I think it was right foot, and so that was kind of interesting seeing something. Like, she's like a para athlete, and then the
Hmm.
other one was just a juniors rower, like a senior rower who was getting ready for college, and just taking a look
Okay.
at her video. And then the final one was she was 13. She had just learned to row 3 months before. Oh, she was
Oh.
adult. It was just the cutest thing, and it was just like the biggest example of like why being a coach is so awesome. Like,
Hmm.
to just see like the joy on this kid's face and how much she like really like enjoyed being with her coach and just loved her coach. Like, she's like, Coach, how far am I supposed to walk? He's like, oh, just walk over there and walk back, because we were doing like walking videos, squatting. Then I had them on the erg and do a bunch of views. And it was just hilarious. I had to leave the sound on that. Usually I take the sound out of the video because it's just distracting because you're trying to watch the movement. And she's like, okay, coach. And so she walks down and she walks back. She walks back, and she reaches up, and they give each other five. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, that's so cute. And then I had to leave the sound on because in the background, when she was doing her erging, there were a bunch of novices on sliders, and you can hear like Kirk clang,
Oh boy.
clang. And I was like, oh, it was just like, this is the best video ever. So, and it was great because I got an opportunity to like kind of stop the presentation at one point and just like be like, you're an awesome coach. You're doing a great job. Like, thank you for, bringing such joy to this 13-year-old, because I mean, even all the other kids in the video all looked like in the background and stuff like that. They were on the erg, but they were smiling. They were like having a good time. So I was
Hmm.
like, that's what it's all about. So
Yeah. Cool.
yeah. Yeah. What's up with you? What's new?
So just a lot of narrowing down of colleges for Hannah. So our winter training trip was canceled. I know I've brought that up before. And I think I even said on a previous podcast that I'd probably look at the weather that week and think, oh my gosh, I'm glad that we didn't go, but they're having great weather down there. So if we had gone, it would have been a great week, but it's okay.
It's okay.
Um, it's all good. The coach did take a small group out to Pittsford, to your neck of the woods,
Oh,
to spend some time in the tanks, and they're getting back. I think they left this morning. And we did some college visits. So yeah, so that's been kind of fun. Just meeting different coaches, hearing, like from the athletes what their favorite practices are, seeing different boathouses. Um, Still not sure where Hannah's going to end up. I think every day it just changes. She's got her favorites, like top ones. I have to say they've stayed pretty consistent, so I think it'll be one of the three that she's considering her top. But it's really funny how when you get to the end, like if you have a kid who's like considering multiple ones, um, that the reasons like that make them different and then the things that make them each individually their favorite or why they like them are so different. You know what I mean? It's not like it's I'm being very cryptic, I know, but like I don't know where she's gonna choose and I don't want to put anything out in the universe.
yeah.
Because it's her choice, So yeah. So that's what we've been doing. So um I did hear of a really cool workout, and I was wondering if you've done this one before, and the
Ooh.
rowers at this one college were really into it. And I'm still not sure if I understand the whole like way that it should work. I think
Mhm.
so. it's like a failure piece, right? So it's a 2K and you're supposed to go out at minus two, whatever your 500-meter split should
Okay.
be.
Okay.
And then I think the goal, because they kept talking about how you're supposed to fail, but then they were pointing out athletes that actually succeeded. So I don't really get it.
Mhm.
But I think, I'm not exactly sure, but I think the whole point is that if you succeed, it means that you basically took 8 seconds off your 2K.
Oh
So
wow.
you're supposed to go 2 beats faster, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or two below your split and see how long you can hold it. I think so. That's the goal.
Yep.
But the whole point is that you're not supposed to be able to last for the whole 2K.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming there's something else like some kind of motivating factor to keep you going and I think maybe it's because then you're done. So if you do last the whole 2K, you're done. If you don't, then I'm assuming there's a follow-up workout or like maybe you do it again and see if you can go further. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's my thought, but
I've
it is
done
interesting.
a similar one to that in the burn training. So like last was that Saturday? Last Saturday's workout, and it's been sprinkled into burn every couple weeks. I put it in there where it's the over target practice.
Okay.
And so the rule on that one, we usually do like either I'll do a 10 to 16 minute warm up just to kind of get things moving. And then it's 3 by 1,000. And so
Hmm.
on the first 1,000, you're supposed to go 2 beats below your goal pace, and you're supposed to hold it as long as you possibly can. And then you're supposed to note when you fail. But
Okay.
like I didn't have the rule in there that if you don't fail, you get to stop. That's a good that's a good motivation to keep to because it probably would encourage you to go a little bit further into it if you knew that like because I usually because when I would do them, I've been usually failing around 400 meters in, or I've yet to make it to 500 meters in 2 beats below goal. But I had the idea in my head that if I just did it, it'd be done and I wouldn't have to do anything else that day. Maybe that would change my motivation a little bit more. So that's thank you for the suggestion. I'll add that to it. But what you're supposed to do is like 2 beats below, as far as you can get. You're supposed to note how far you get, and then you're supposed to paddle the rest of the piece. Then the second one you get I think it was 5 minutes and 30 seconds off. So you get a lot of time in between to
Hmm.
recover. And then the second one you're supposed to do up until the point where you failed the first time, plus an additional 10 hard strokes.
Oh, okay.
And then you paddle the rest. And then
Hmm.
the final one, you do the up to the point where you failed, plus the 10 hard strokes, plus you finish as hard as possible.
Hmm.
And that's that one I've been calling the over target workout. I did not make it up. I had seen it on Instagram. I borrowed it from somebody. So thank you, whoever I borrowed it from. Um, so but I like it because and I mean to do that for a 2K would be brutal. Ooh, 3 by 2K and doing that way. But I mean still, I mean like I feel like in order to get better at the 2K,
Hmm.
you gotta do the 2K. You gotta like
Yeah.
you gotta get into that system. And I
Hmm.
mean, like 2K isn't a complete representation of VO2 max. Like VO2 max is more like 5 minutes at maximal
Hmm.
level. So 2K gets close. I mean it feels like it. And like that you're doing a maximal aerobic test.
Hmm.
So like I don't know, but I still feel like people need like if you want to get better at 2K, you have to do it more often and
Hmm.
you have to test yourself and you have to figure things out. Like
Yeah.
that's why we were doing like I was doing the over the target workout because you've got to test out like how does it feel to do first 5 strokes and then be on goal? And what's the pacing? Like what's the drag factor? We've been playing a lot in class, we've been playing around a lot with drag factor. Like we'll turn erg data on because erg data will give you live drag factor and live drive time. So
Hmm.
for drive time, you want your drive time to be something between zero point 0.6 to zero point 0.7 seconds to be efficient. If your drive time is too long, if it's over zero point 0.7 seconds, it just your drive is very like muddy.
Mhm.
And if it's
Okay.
under zero point 0.6 seconds, your drive is too fast to really build up any resistance and to put any force into it. So like zero point 0.6 to zero point 0.7 is like the happy place, but the faster the piece, the more sprint it is, the more drag potentially you'd need, and the longer the piece, the less drag you'd need in order to get your drive time. So like there's the potential like today when I did the 10K steady state, like I do that at like 100. Like
Mhm.
that at an 1820, that still gives me a drive time of zero point 0.6 to zero point 0.7. The risk is if you do long pieces with too much drag, you can make your drive too long, and then you're like neuro practicing a longer drive, and you're just not going to be quick enough and efficient enough. And if you're
Mhm.
doing your drag too low, um, when you're doing sprint pieces, potentially you're not going to be able to build the force at a pace that's
Mhm.
going to be efficient once you're out in the boat. So
Okay.
like by normalizing your drag factor, your drive time between most pieces, then you keep the stimulus, no matter what you're rowing, is the same as far as like drive time. The recovery time is going to change because you're going to be at an 18, you're going considerably slower, and at a 42, you're going to be going considerably faster. So but I don't know where I was going with all that. But but like trying to figure that out and then translate that to your 2K. So sometimes I find like when I'm testing people for 2K, the reason that they're having a hard time on their 2K is like they have too much drag, and so it's fatiguing them, or they don't have
Mhm.
enough drag and they just can't produce enough force when they get tired, like there isn't the resistance to work against.
Mhm.
Um, the other thing about 2K is like you got to know your weak points, and not
Mhm.
everybody has the same weak point. Like it's interesting because I'll use the Row Hero app, which will then do stroke by stroke,
Right.
and sometimes I'll see people like have struggle with like the beginning of the test where
Mhm.
they're overstroking, they're not getting to goal. Like if you don't get within goal within the first 10 strokes of your 2K, what will happen is you'll burn yourself out like going too fast for the first 100 to 200 meters of the test. And that's a good chunk of the test. So especially for like a 1K, I mean that's
Yeah.
a good test. So you got to be careful on that. But but if I can get somebody within the first 10 strokes to A, get to their goal stroke rate, B, get to the goal pace, then it's going to be easy. That first like, 400, 300, 400 meters is all going to be adrenaline and just like really easy. Then when you get into the meat and potatoes, like you've already built your rhythm so that it gets challenging, but it doesn't get impossible. And sometimes people set themselves up that they make that transition from being easy to impossible like really, really hard.
Mhm.
Um, but I've seen people who've had problems with like the second 500. I've seen people who had problems with um the third 500. Third 500 is like classic,
Yeah.
like what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But sometimes like the signs of what's going to happen in the third 500 happen in the second 500, where
Mhm.
like whether it's inconsistency in rate, like I
Mhm.
always try to um to encourage someone like before you can negative split, which like negative splitting is so hard. Like I don't know why people go for it first. Like before you can negative split, you have to show consistency because you have to do a 2K where you can like break the screen is what I call it. Like I need to see the same split, I need to see the same rate, and you have to do it the whole time. Once you can do that, we can get fancy. We can start doing stuff. We can start like adding tens here and doing that. But like if you're not consistent, like I can't give you tens to do, I can't give you focus test, like I can't put anything else into the test if you can't get on the machine and just like produce the same number, produce the same number, produce the same number, because you have to learn like in order to master the 2K, you must master the ability to make the number and the split on the stroke rate and the split on the screen that you want. Once you can do that, then we can do a bunch of all sorts of fun things. Like we can work on your breathing, we can work on this, we can work on that, but like you got to be able to control the machine. And that's a hard thing. I think it takes people a while to like to be able to do that. Like I don't know, like
Yeah.
I mean, like you've been rowing for a while, so you know what I mean. Like you can control the machine. Like if you wanted to row at a 24 at a 2, at a 2:15, you could make a 24 on a 2:15. It might take you a minute, like, you know,
Yeah.
10 or 15 strokes to kind of get to it, but you could get
Hmm.
to it and make it.
Hmm.
And like I
Yeah.
find like if you can't do that, if you can't like even at whatever pace, if you can't do that, then you can't control a 2K. You wouldn't be able to control a test.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
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 And I think the mental aspect comes in so much too. Like
Yeah.
it's that's a hard one because I feel like I know well, I have my tricks, right? So I've been trying to share them with the kids. Like
Mhm.
I just get I just get too like distracted and like there's too much going on, too many thoughts that can creep in. Like I really need something to like focus my brain. And so like I've got to count strokes and
Yep.
I've got to give myself small goals and I've got to do like almost I'm all about tricking my brain. Like that's why I kind of like that one exercise with like the 2K to failure and then you're
Yeah.
done because
Yeah.
it's like Hannah had a recent erg test and it was like she gets all wrapped up in it, so worried about it. And then it's a situation where she like doesn't eat much before and she's like,
Mhm.
worried that she didn't eat enough and that she didn't sleep enough and that she really didn't eat enough or sleep enough because she was all worried about it. So, but like if you can tell yourself, like I said, listen, it's going to hurt
Yeah.
whether or not you do well or not,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
no, if you PR, it's going to hurt
Yep.
the same as if you get worse in your PR.
Yeah.
But it's going to hurt for less time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like when you start having these like thoughts that creep in, like, okay, this isn't gonna happen, because I don't know, this is what happens to me. It's like, okay, this isn't gonna happen. Like I'm gonna finish this, but it's just not gonna be good. Like it's just gonna be what
Um,
it is, like because that's just what happens to me. So it's like, okay, but like if I told myself, um, no, because you're going to make it worse if you just kind of like let those splits creep up because you think it's going to be easier, but and maybe it
Longer.
is. But like if you, yes, it's no matter what, it's going to take longer. So like that is real. But if I just trick myself in saying like it's going to hurt the same, like I can't measure the difference because I
Yep.
can't do like a simultaneous how much did it hurt at this rate versus how much it hurt at this rate at this point at the same exact time because that's impossible. So you just have to like tell yourself that, right? And then that's like, okay, if I once I can put that in my mind, I can move on and then I can focus on the counting strokes. And then I count strokes like about 10 strokes will get you close to the next 100. I mean, that's kind of like where I would be. And I said she's a little faster than I am. So I'd say, you know, zone in, start counting strokes if you're getting distracted. And then when you get to 10, you're going to be close to the next 100.
Hmm.
Use those strokes in between to just get yourself psyched up and think about some other body part that you're going to focus on for those 10 strokes.
Yeah.
Whether it's, you get really microscopic and you just think about your toes as part of your feet and that they all have to push off, or if you just think feet flat, like feet push off, or knees down fast, or sit up tall on your back, or nose in the air. I mean, whatever it is, like
Mhm.
you just figure something out that you can focus on because it's just like 2,000 meters just seem to like take forever when you're in that moment and then they're done.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's the other thing. It's just so mental with the 2K,
Yeah.
and that's the other thing is they don't do them very often. So like
Yeah.
she's comparing her score to like this exact time last year, which is the last time she took a 2K.
Yep. Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's
Our
like, how
fitness changes. Yeah.
she's way stronger than she was last year. I
Hmm.
know that,
Yep.
but her score doesn't show that because she doesn't do 2Ks. So
Yep. And
she's
like we
just,
shy away from it. Like it's just
yeah.
I don't know, like, I go back and forth. Like, when I was coaching juniors, like I like to do the ergatas. I felt like it was a proper way to do a 2K with that group of people. Like doing it, like I still think doing a 2K after school at the end of the day, knowing that it's coming up for 2 or 3 weeks is the worst way to set these kids up for 2K. Like it's just hard. They've been at school all day long. Well, the team I coach for, they did Monday through Friday, so they never did Saturday practice. So I couldn't make it on like a Saturday morning where like we're gonna wake up and we're just gonna come and do this 2K. It's gonna be great. And so like you have the pressures of school all day. You have the pressures of like, am I eating at the right time? Because 2K is gonna be at 3:30 and am I going to be in the first group? Are we going to like how long is the warm up we're going to do? And like I feel like there's like a lot of like emotional turmoil that can be kind of stirred up. And that's why I like doing the 2K at an ergata, especially if we can get two ergatas in. Like there used to be the Shamrock row and then um Shamrock, and I don't know if we went to the West Side one. I know we did two.
Oh, shuffle was do they
Shuffle
still have
off.
the shuffle off?
They've done the shuffle off sporadically. I
Yeah.
think I took them to shuffle off and I think I took them to Shamrock. I definitely took them to the Shamrock row, which of course is not being done anymore either. But I just felt like, you know what I mean? It had like it has the regatta vibe to it. You're there with your friends, your parents drop you out. Like it's like, it's different, and you're less likely because the other thing was like we'd have people who'd stop because they would be like, say you're 600 meters into the test and you're below your pace for getting a PR. Some people will literally just stop. And then like I needed to like get these girls to stop doing that. I'm like you just have to do it. Like whether good or bad or ugly, like if it's worse than your PR, that's why a PR is a PR. You can't get a PR every time. Like we had the we can't PR every time talk. Like this is a representation of your performance today. It does not
Mhm.
represent you as a person in your life for the future. You know what I mean? Like, so like being able to have it be like, okay, we're going to a race. I'm like, we wouldn't stop at a real regatta. Like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like if we win, lose, or draw, like you're gonna finish the race. And I want you to treat this like the race. And so
Yeah.
like having somebody in a different color unisuit sitting next to you doing the 2K just reads differently, especially too because they would wear their unis. Like I'm like, this is
Yeah.
race day. You have to wear I'm like, I want you to come dressed for race day. You got your uni on, you mean business. You're not sitting next to a teammate, you're sitting next to somebody you don't even know. Like that alone I think like changes the dynamic of it and like takes the idea out of it that like this is just like this is a test. I'm like, no, it's
Mhm.
not a test, this is a race. Like we're going to race. So like I think that like I like that did that to it because the 2K otherwise turns into a representation of your personal abilities and who you are as in your life
Mhm.
as a person. Like it just becomes like who you are and it's just like I don't know. I mean, that's the hard thing about it is like balancing the idea of that it's saying something about you. And I think that's what's so hard about it is kind of like looking your rowing self in the face is kind of
Yeah.
um what the 2K does. And even
It,
today, like for me, like if someone like it's the 1K is just long enough. Just when the 1K gets a little bit like, why am I doing this? It's over. Like,
Mhm.
whoo,
Yeah.
it's like 110 of your hardest strokes. 110
Yeah.
strokes. I mean, that's like nothing. I mean, counting to 110, I mean, nothing. But 2K, like a nice 220 or 230 strokes or something like that, like yeah, that's a hefty amount. It's different, but still not impossible. So sometimes like especially if I'm working with like a juniors rower, like I love to break it down and be like, this is just 200 strokes of your life. That's it. Like that's
Yeah.
all. It's not saying much about anything except like what you could put together for 200 strokes. And then a lot of times once they see it, like oh, it is only 200? So, okay, 200 isn't a huge number. It's not 1,000 strokes. It feels like 1,000 strokes, but it's only 200. So, or 220, depending on how long it's taking you to do it. So, like that's always helpful. And then going in with a plan, knowing that number, knowing what your number is, but you can't know what your number is if you aren't doing a lot of like the pre-testing. Like
Yeah.
what I've found after doing all this stuff for Bright and Burn is that like I have like an Excel calculator that I use to figure out like you know what what pacing people should use and what I had been doing was using like doing peak power and
Mhm.
doing it like as prescribed by like US Rowing has like a prescription. Like you can look it up on US Rowing, the testing protocols for peak power 1 minute and I think 100 meters on there too. I think they only do the 100 meters with the senior team people when they test them. But all the testing protocols are on the US Rowing website. So go ahead and take a look. So I was using that protocol and I found that like the protocol works, but it kind of overshoots what you're actually able to do. I've because we've been doing the 10 by 20 seconds and the and your best 10 by 20 second now I have a small sample size. It's just the small group of people who, have been working with me. But if you take the one of your highest average splits from that 20-second, that plugged into the equation that I was using now gives me an accurate 1K pacing.
So the highest.
So the highest. So like
Hmm.
when I did mine the other day, I was able to do one that averaged out to like, I think it was like 149 or something like that. And then I plugged it in. And luckily, the Saturday before, we had done the three, this past Saturday, we had done the 3 by 1,000s. So my third 1,000 was the one where you go to over target plus the 10 stroke plus finish as hard as you can. They were almost the exact number. Like they were off
Mm.
like 1 second. I was like, whoa, this is at more accurate for the average human being.
Mhm.
Because I think because I've always felt like it's skewed like the 1K and 2K score just a little bit higher than what was reachable for a regular person. And I think the difference may be like elite athleticism versus like your average, like your average junior or your average masters. Like how
Mhm.
much are they, because there is an amount of how much you can push yourself.
Yeah.
Like an elite person, when they do that 3 by 20 second pacing, like in the numbers that they get, probably like they can push that extra little bit that was what was skewing my numbers and making it be like the 2K wouldn't be horribly ahead of what they could do, but it would be a challenge. Like the number would come out and it might be maybe 3 or 4 beats more intense than that person would be feeling comfortable to do. Whereas when I use this average number from the 10, 20 seconds, that kind of gave me a number that really would line up with what they'd feel comfortable doing. So that's definitely something I've learned from the Bright and Burn stuff. And now that I've gotten so much data from people, I can kind of just plug it in and see how close it is. And then I want to compare it to because I haven't someone at class had mentioned yesterday that all the ergs will be new ergs. You know how the new erg kind
Yeah.
of, like the chain will kind of pull you back, and so like it gives you like that little bit of like advantage. So I'm wondering
Mhm.
how much more like are we going to be able to shave a second or a couple tenths off these times? Um, once it's in real time and you know, in race situations. So
Mhm.
it's very interesting because you want to know, like you want to
Mhm.
know like what's a safe number for me to try? And that's what people are asking me right now, but I'm pretty confident about the 10 by 20 second, your highest average split on one of those can kind of give us like the doable number. Because I'm looking for the doable number. The reach is always fun to know, but it's a little bit
Mhm.
disappointing because yeah, it's really hard to get to that number. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
I was thinking while you were talking earlier about ergatas and wonder if any ergatas out there do anything where people are actually part of a boat. Because that would be interesting to me to see. Like, I feel like I could do my very best if like other people depended on me. Like
Yeah.
if it was a situation where you had your team and they had it situated on the screen and they had like the three boats or however many teams lined up because you could see your boat on those
Yeah.
arcadas on those big screens how you're doing. But if you know like your team is like neck and neck with another team, it gives you that
Mhm.
extra boost, because I feel like I think now not really participating in the te erg test world right now. I mean, I'm dabbling with it. I'm not like full into it right now. But I feel like that would be so interesting because I feel like I just always, if it's just on me, like you
Mhm.
know me, I'm an easygoing person. Like
Yeah.
I'm okay with failure. Like I'm okay with like good enough, you know? So
Mhm.
like if I'm in a boat, but like other people are depending on me, I don't want to let them down. You know, I'm okay if I'm in a single and I get very last place. You know, like I'm fine with that. If I feel good about my row and I feel like I enjoyed myself and there was beautiful scenery, like I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's
like if
fair.
I've got a doubles partner, if I've got somebody else that's gonna be like, you know, concerned or wants to do well, like I want to do well for them, you know? So I think
Yeah.
that would be interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that they do at the Brighton Burn, I think they're doing like a parent-child race, but I'm not sure. I think they just go at the same time. I don't know if like their scores are averaged, like you know how like when you're doing the 2K test and or the when you're at a race, you can see like the your pace boat and then
Yeah.
like the top pace boats and stuff like that. I think um I don't know if they average the two of them so that they are one boat or if they are separate boats or not. When they
Yeah,
do
no,
the
I'm talking
parent tab.
about like you would need that real time
Yeah.
data,
I
like
don't
not
know.
like later on to
We'll
see.
have to, yeah, we'll have to look that up because I thought I saw like an Instagram post before, not recently, but like a while back where they had like people on sliders and it was
Yeah,
oh
sliders would be cool.
yeah, and it
Yeah.
was like an 8 versus an 8. And
Mm,
like so I don't know how that works or how
yeah.
but that would be kind of cool. That'd be really neat to
Yeah.
kind of have like the boat race kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You kind of translate into the ergata. But
Hmm.
yeah, I just don't think we spend enough time teaching about the 2K and demystifying it and just like cuz for me like the numbers make it that much easier for me to process it. Like if I know how many strokes I need to take, if I know how many strokes I'm taking per, you know, like the 10 strokes per 100 meters, like that really helps me out um I'll have to use the idea that it's not going to go any faster unless I go faster kind of thing. Like it's not getting any faster if I slow down. So
Yeah.
like, you know, just kind of staying in there and staying in the you know, like in the erg throat of it, you know what I mean? So like
Hmm.
I know that's gonna be crazy. Hopefully I get enough warm up. I want to make sure that I really get nice and warm and that I'm sweating before I do it because it really does. I mean, just the because we did 16 minutes of warm up and we did 3 by 1,000 and I did better on that 1,000 than if that 1,000 was at what I did I think in 2024. So
Okay.
at an ergata. So I was
Hmm.
like, okay. So like and I had done two additional 1,000 meters even though most of that was paddle and I did 16 minutes worth of warm up. And then I was able to do better than I or equal to what I did in 2024. So I was like, okay, so I got to make sure that I'm very, very warm because there's no point in like having erg throat all day long, which is the worst. But just like
I
that.
know this time of year it's so dry
Oh
and everybody's
no.
sick anyway, and then we're like gasping for our air and an ergata or at a erg test, and yeah,
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
the erg cough
Erg
after you're
cough
not
and
sick.
uh yeah, I'm not looking forward to that portion of it, but I am looking forward to the race. I like
Yeah.
race day. I'm a big like race day person. I love it. Like it's always like it doesn't make me nervous. It makes me excited.
Mhm.
Like, you know, and
Good
it
feelings. Yeah.
yeah, it's a good feeling and like then you think like even like race day for when I run like a half marathon or something like that, like I love race day. I love waking up early and getting my oatmeal and kind of like sitting and stretching and kind of thinking about what I'm going to do at the race. And I love planning out my music. I think I'm still going to use Prodigy. Like that's my song. And I was trying to look at other songs because like I usually row it at about like a 30-32, but I wanted to row it like more like 32-34. And
Ooh, okay.
I think I need to change my song
Mm.
if I need to go a little bit faster.
That's like
But
one song, right?
yeah, it's one song. So like and some songs are too short. like they finished
Yeah.
in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. I'm not going that fast on the 1000. So like I need
Yeah.
something that goes at least almost 4 minutes because sometimes because you got to put your earphones in, you got to set your drag factor. Then the screen like beeps down. So like you need time to like turn your earphones on
Yeah.
and so sometimes I want to just start the song during that process. Like
Right.
while I'm doing the drag factor and then when it tells you to sit ready, my song's already going.
Yeah.
But you need something, and the Prodigy song goes for I think for like 4 minutes and 10 seconds. So it's like the perfect amount because like it gives me a little bit of time on the front end to like let the song roll because I'll usually I mean fingers crossed come in under 4 minutes. Um, but it just gives me enough time that I can like and also like set my watch and like, kind of get everything all so, but a lot of like songs that are like way faster, like way higher beats are like shorter songs, so like 2 minutes and 30 seconds or like 3 minutes and 10 seconds. And I was like getting so frustrated, like looking at music, and I was just like, you know what? That Prodigy song is my erg song. And I'm just kind of like, I'm just gonna have to push harder. That's all.
There you go.
Just push harder.
It'll hurt less long.
It'll hurt less long. So, but the thing is,
That's not the right words, but
I'm trying
or
to think,
less long.
what's your erg test song? Do you have an erg test song?
Um, so not for the 1K, because
Okay.
honestly, I'm probably not doing the 1K, but maybe I will. We'll see. I might not, I might do it unofficially.
Okay.
Let's see what I have on mine. Because I think I still have my 2K one from last year on here.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm checking mine right
see.
now. Um,
Hannah's on my Spotify account, so a lot of this is hers. Let's see.
oh, what are hers? Let me maybe she's got something that
Well, I just found, hang on. Okay. So I have Lose Yourself by Eminem, Du
okay.
Hast, and Sabotage.
Oh,
Those are on
Duhas.
my, yes. So
I
it's
hadn't
12
thought
minutes long.
it's
So it's
12 minutes.
long,
It's
but it's
long.
like just in like it's yeah, so I think it's that buffer zone where like
Okay.
I could like, mentally get prepared while it's already starting and sit at the couch and, yeah.
Yeah.
And I also like we always need that time if we're doing it in like our workout area for Burn Hills because inevitably somebody's screen, goes out, and then we're like, oh, and everyone's like, when that we feel that moment happening, we're like, rotate your screens, like, because it's gonna zone out. All right. So Hannah's, does she have an erg playlist? She might, but you know what? I bet you're not gonna know any of these. Running, she has a running playlist, intense steady state.
Intense steady state. I love that.
All right, let's see what that one is because I don't see anything for an erg test. So she's got a lot of Oda Terry.
Oh,
I don't know who that is.
I'll look
Um,
that up.
Higher by Tao Cruz, which I know that one.
All right.
Blackpink,
Well,
Huntrix, HUNTR/X. I feel like such a mom that I don't know any of my kids' bands that she's listening to. And then she's got a steady state. Oh, she has a lot of, I'm gonna butcher this. Biba Doobie, Apple Cider by Biba Doobie, TV Girl. Do you know any of these?
I don't know
Imogen
any.
Heap.
No. I'm sounding
Um,
bold too.
I a lot of these are the same that were on her other one. And then she's
Okay.
got a running one, which is Biba Doobie, lots of Biba Doobie and O Terry.
Okay.
And that's it.
Eva Doobie?
Biba Doobie.
Eva
So let me see. How do you spell that?
Doobie.
I'm spelling the other one.
And people are probably laughing at us right now. They're like,
Yeah, I know. Seriously. Yeah, oh no, oh, Biba Doobie. Okay, Beabadoo. Bee.
Bee. Okay. All right. I'll look it up.
No idea. I have no idea what they would be like to erg to, but that's when it's on her playlist.
What was your favorite boathouse that you visited? Because you said you did
Hmm.
a bunch of boathouse visits. So what was your favorite boathouse?
Um, oh,
Or favorite feature?
okay.
You don't have to mention the actual boathouse, but favorite
Oh, I
features
got one.
that you saw while you were out and about.
I got one. I
Okay.
don't know if anything could take the cake on this one. And I don't know how many boathouses have this. So
Okay.
I'd be interested to learn more.
Okay.
Dan would know probably because Dan has seen so many. A heated concrete floor.
What?
Yep, in the boat
Wow.
bay. So
Wow.
the whole boat bay, the heating system is the
Mhm.
heated floor. So it's
Oh,
less dry.
okay.
You come in from practice and like your feet are nice and warm. Like you can
Oh,
walk around in socks and
oh my.
enjoy the heat.
Ooh, that's fancy. That's very
Yeah,
fancy. That's cool. Like, I mean, because when you said it, I was like, wow. I'm like, in addition to like, but that's how they heat the
that's
boathouse space.
yeah, the
Yeah,
radiant heat.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. So I bet if you've seen a lot, and I think, there are some really nice boathouses out there. And it's interesting too because there's a lot of teams will do like they have their on-campus facilities and then they have their boathouse facilities. And I think a lot of it has to do with the distance that they have between where they can row and where their campus is. Like,
Yeah,
so it makes sense if they have most of the like facilities where you're going, especially in off season on campus, because then it's super convenient. You don't have to like trek out to the boathouse. You're also like, you have the advantage of having the other athletic, sports medicine and like trainers and all that like there. Um, I have to say the one thing I don't miss from ours was that giant scale. Do you remember that?
I didn't have to get on the giant scale, but you guys did.
It was like meant for cattle, I think. I don't know. It was so big. But I mean, there's a lot of other things that they can use and utilize and just getting like ankles taped and that sort of thing, which I used to have to get all the time because I have terrible ankles and feet. And so when we would be running a lot, my feet took a beating and so I would have my ankles taped all the time. So yeah, so I think it's been interesting. I have to say, boy, I wish Buffalo had what some of these boathouses have now.
Oh yeah. Like,
I mean, they worked up to a nice on-campus facility, I think, by the time like they had their D1 like a couple years after us. I
yeah,
think there was like a nice setup, but off campus we only had that and it's still there, that little
a little boathouse.
dome airplane hangar.
The airplane hangar.
Yeah.
Have you seen like for because I know you went to a lot of them,
Hmm.
and I'm sure there's a wide range. Were any of them at the airplane hangar level? Or most of them had progressed beyond like just kind of like a very simple boathouse and a very simple facility at school?
So one of them, again, this kind of goes along with what I was saying, but one of them is a pretty basic boathouse situation. It's like probably the same material as the airplane hangar, but it's more
Yeah.
of a rectangle as opposed to a dome. So really like no frills storage for the boats, but they're right on the water. So like the
Um,
campus is there and they have nice facilities for like really nice facilities for their tank room and their where they have their ergs and they're in their gym, so like their gym is literally waterfront, so it's like
wow. Yeah.
so it's kind of like investing a whole lot in having this like fancy boathouse when you already have all those facilities right there outside your dorm room on
Yeah.
campus.
Mhm.
I could see why that's kind of, not even really necessary at all. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but like the boathouse itself is pretty basic and no frills and probably no heat and no it's just keeping the boats from getting like covered in snow and wind, like blown away.
What was like the coolest thing that surprised you that someone said that they offer the kids or that's part of their, their package of what they do with the kids? Like, what's the most surprising, maybe something fun, something surprising that like, oh, I wouldn't have thought oh, that's a cute thing to add to the team that kind of adds to the culture or something. I don't know.
Um, well, the fueling stations seem to be a real thing. Like, I
Oh,
feel like it's having a moment. I'm sure it's probably all always sort of existed, at least maybe for, for races, like the
mhm.
coaches, especially like not a club team, but like
Yeah.
anything D1, D3, there's like snacks provided or like stuff like that. But now they're more of a thing where they have
Yeah.
it set up at practice or like I said on campus where it's like called a fueling station.
Hmm, interesting.
Um yeah, so that would be one thing.
So like would like protein bars and granola
Yeah,
bars, like
yes.
Gatorade,
Applesauce.
apple. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Like
Yeah, maybe
refrigerated stuff. Like you can
electrolytes.
get grab a yogurt and like
Yeah.
a chocolate milk and oh, okay,
Mhm.
all right, I like it.
And then let's see what else. I thought I had another thought there that I've seen a couple places, but um yeah, no, nothing. I can't think of anything else to be honest.
What was the best swag package that you heard about? Like gear. Like what was the best gear? Did you hear about like what gear they get offered? Like,
Um, well, no, I mean, I don't think that they talked about it. So I think the one thing I will say that I've seen on campus, and again, I don't think that necessarily all the teams, like meaning like not all rowing teams, but I mean like all teams on that campus get
yeah.
is these giant winter coats that are like more of a parka, like they're not fitted, they're not like down, they're just more of like a oversized
Yeah, yeah, almost like a swimming
straight
coat.
down.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I've seen a lot on campus, like, and again, it's not specific to rowing, but different sports. And I even think at RPI, I've seen our athletes that have it. It's just like this parka that they put on. So it's not like, so it's interesting, right? Because for rowing, we would know like the boathouse jackets, which
Mhm.
some teams have. I feel like some teams just don't do that anymore.
Early
I don't
on.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe they just do the parka
Hmm.
and then so it's either like the parka if it's cold and rainy
Hmm.
or winter, and then you're just going to practice,
Hmm.
or you're just wearing your regular uni and what we'd call a JL,
Yeah.
which oh my gosh, I was so excited. We just ordered our so both the kids have unis for Shen, but they had the uni order for this year. And whoever did the order, which I know who did it, my friend Carrie did it, but she included the long sleeve JLs and there it's by JL. And I was like, oh, you guys are getting us. And then both the kids said, or no, actually just Keegan said, Mom, I want to get the long sleeve. And I was like, you're already getting one. It's already in the cart. It's already ordered.
Yay. I love that. I love that. Like I know that I had gone to some conference and the Texas coach was talking and he was saying like as part of their thing is like you have to dress for practice and
Mhm.
you always have to be in color. Like you always have to be
Oh,
in
wow.
the six colors. And so they provide them with like long sleeves, short
Mhm.
sleeves, they get their uni and then they can't come in any other color. So like they can wear outside clothes that they've gotten, but they have to be Texas colors so that no matter when someone takes a photo of them or whatever it is, like it is always like a sea of like that burnt orange and white. Like those are the only colors that they can wear. And I was like, wow, that's kind of but I mean at the same time I mean they're a big team, they're creating a culture, like, hook 'em or
Yeah.
whatever it is that they do. So like I get that. But I mean, as a girl, having to wear white all the time wouldn't be would be my choice. I don't know if
Yeah.
like I think about that. Is that really bad? Like, I don't know. Like I always think like uni bottoms, like just like be nice to women and can they just be dark? Please.
Yes.
Please, can they
Yes.
just be dark colors? You just never know what's gonna happen. So I'm just kind of
Yes.
like, like, yeah. But I couldn't imagine like always having to wear burnt orange and like, yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to
I
think
know
about
it.
that in rowing. I mean, sometimes, I
Yeah.
mean, we're women, like, once a month. So
Yeah.
something happens. So,
Yeah.
yeah, like having a uni that can kind of help us out instead of giving us a problem, that would be kind of cool. So I know that when I think back, our unis were dark and I like that's nice. But I couldn't imagine wearing burnt orange and white all the time. That would
Are
be
there unis that burnt orange all the way up down?
I don't know if they're burnt orange all the way down. Maybe they're
Yeah.
dark on the bottom.
Mm.
Maybe they're black on the bottom or something. Or I don't know. I know
Yeah.
what yeah, I have
Yeah.
that's the question. That's the question. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know
Yeah.
how I feel about it either. I mean, I get it, but I also think like they better provide quite a bit because I mean, I can't tell you how much laundry I would go through,
Oh
in
yeah.
college
Oh my
because,
gosh. Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, you'd end up having to rewear stuff if you didn't want to do like a lot of laundry.
Yeah, and I think they probably give them like a whole swag package. They
Yeah.
probably get a duffel bag's worth of clothing, but I mean like you're signing up. You're like, you're being recruited for for the big game and rowing with them. So I could imagine like because he was talking about like, sometimes freshmen will show up the first day of practice and they won't be in uniform and like it's like a big deal. Like it's something that they have to learn and it's a form and he was using it more of like a form of like respect for the team um and that we're here for this purpose, like I'm not lounging around in my sweatpants, like I'm at practice and I'm here to do a job and so kind of using that as a way to so I don't think we do that as much now, like where we because we used to like there used to be everything used to be so formal that like if you went to go do something, there was like clothing you would wear for that occasion. I feel like life has gotten very casual. So I think that was like his attempt to kind of like this is not a casual experience. You're at rowing practice. You've earned this spot on this team, and so now like you need to represent what that means, and so I get it. I get when you're with a big team like that you have to kind of create boundaries around culture and
Yeah.
yeah, so you can't wear your pink sweatpants, the sweatpants to practice. Like you have to
Yeah.
come ready. And I think they get because I've seen pictures of them. I think they get the sports coat. They get like the rowing blazer, a Texas
Mhm.
rowing blazer, like the
Yeah,
burnt
probably.
orange and with the like the little white on the lapel and stuff like that. I think we talked about rowing blazers before. I'd love to
Yeah.
have a rowing blazer.
We should create our own.
We should create
Um,
our own rowing friends rowing
Rowing
blazer
friends. Yes, we should.
that we can wear when we're broadcasting live.
Hmm. I love it. I do have to get going. I'm so sorry. I'm
Oh
enjoying
no,
this a
no.
lot, but I have so many thoughts in my head about, the privilege of being in a position where you can like demand such things from your
Right.
athletes. But anyway, yeah, I mean, good for them. I mean, they're really fast, they're really good. There's a reason why they're really fast and really good. But I mean, there's a lot of other teams out there. And I think, they probably don't have the privilege of being able to demand such things and knowing people are going to live up to it because they want to be part of such excellence. So
Yep.
yeah.
Very cool. Well, we will
Yeah.
reconnect soon. Have a great
Sure.
rest of the week. Hopefully, the kids are enjoying their week off.
Yes,
And
you too.
the kids are. I think they're watching television. No, we got two at practice. Two at practice right now. They'll be
Oh,
back
good.
on 10. And then Mikey's just having a television vacation. So that's how he's I'll try to do something with him end of the week. We might go skiing at the end of the week. If we get
Nice.
more snow, I'll take him to like we have like a little bunny hill that's run by like one of the bigger ski places, but it's just like one hill with a tow rope. So I might take him over there and
Nice.
do a little bit of that. So, but yeah, have a great rest of the week
You too.
and yeah, see you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Talk later.
Yep.
Bye.